Hello, welcome to this, your daily briefing. Today's clip is a two-parter. First part is in relation to Fonseca, the fabulous Fonseca. And the second part is a practical guide to action against ENIC, but without actually having to do anything, take any action at all, really. So that's like a protest for thinking people, or protestful moves that you can make without having to humiliate yourself in any respect. So, according to Fabrizio Romano, a 2-year deal is waiting for the Fons, and I'm not going to read a lot into this, to be honest with you. I think it's very straightforward, and I wouldn't expect the club to offer anything else. It's a 2-year deal with the potential for a 3rd year to be triggered, subject to probably him finishing in a European qualifying spot. That's the yardstick, that's the metric, that's what Levy wants, that's what ENIC wants. And the recurring answer I have on all of these questions surrounding the club at the moment, and I'm going to try and be a little bit more inventive, is it's all academic. Because the whole thing is so suffocated. Everywhere you turn, there's it's like the scene of a waterboarding interview room. There's no joy. There's no joy lurking anywhere. So it's a toe in the water type deal. My understanding from a source close to the club is that this is not a contract offer that every candidate would have jumped up and down about. It is weighted heavily in the club's favour. This guy is getting a break. That's not to be patronising or anything. He's done some good works, but this is the Premier League, and he's walking into a tough dressing room. I think that's fair comment. Budgets for transfers are crystal clear. It's buy to sell. And everything will go to Paratici, and then that will be put over Daniel's desk for final approval. That's how it works. No conspiracy theories here. That is how it works. I take a view that Fonseca will bite Levy's hand off to sign this. It springboards him into the big time. For him, it's a good deal. He can't lose. He cannot lose. Now, just because somebody like, say, Conte, this is the other side of the coin to the deal here. Conte looks at this and goes, not for me. I need some proper commitment. I need to walk out of here with my reputation untarnished. Mourinho has already been that, the shipwrecks of others. Let them be your marker in the storm, right? So everybody with a reputation is looking at Mourinho and going, I don't want to be that guy. Whereas for Fonseca, and it's not doing him a disservice, it doesn't work like that, because he has really nothing to lose. I'll say it for the 5th time. He goes into this job, and if it doesn't work for him, it could still be an opportunity to put his name out, as long as he doesn't do anything particularly stupid, like the Zorro routine again. But this could end up, and this is me being kind, this is me doing damage limitation and not setting out to be, insulting or upsetting. But this could end up with him getting a job that he stays at for 4 or 5 years at Watford or Derby or something. Okay, that's how I see it. Fonseca's first task is getting a tune out of the superstars. Eric Dyer speaks Portuguese. I say we're halfway there. Halfway there. Second part is less interesting, but don't switch off, because it could be for you. It could be for you. There's the dog getting excited by a fan. Good lad. Good lad. No, that guy's going to die. A practical guide to action without having to actually do anything. And the scenes outside the club when there were protests were poor, I have to say. And yeah, I am throwing stones. Yeah, I'm sat in my living room and I'm saying, you know, many of you that got involved in that were chumps and didn't represent me, didn't speak for me, and didn't speak for anybody else. There's a real mess of people that attend these things. And, you know, I'm not going to go all right wing and say we should get the water cannons out, because I'm sure there were some people there with good intentions. But there were too many people who were lashed up, singing songs about cheering, having a party when Daniel Levy dies. That's not in my name. I don't want anything to do with that. That's just nasty. It's just cheap. And then we've got these politically dangerous lunatics in the Supporters Trust. Just please don't give them any money. If you've got any questions about the Supporters Trust, get in touch with me. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook. Hell, I'll even give you out my phone number. Just get in touch. There's nothing sinister. It's just don't give them any money. You're backing a really, really bad horse there. I don't want your money, and I'm not going to ever charge you for anything. Incidentally, I've seen a few comments about this with people doing these things and saying, oh, sign up to... I don't want your money. Don't want your money. And then, yeah, drunken idiots, bed sheets, and people doing vlogs who are looking for clicks. Just absolute unashamed. There was the people there who were of good intention. I genuinely feel they didn't need to be there. They could have done something else. They could have had a better run of it. So, ENIC are all about maintaining the status quo. And their idea of the status quo, and hopefully mine and yours, are two very different things, two very different beasts. Their idea of the status quo is harvesting gently tons of money without any fuss or complaint. So the first thing I would suggest in earnest, urge you to do is stop buying merchandise. Now, I don't want to upset the way you live your life. And there'll be some of you out there who are really confused at the moment because you support Spurs, but you know, you support the team, but not the regime. So just buy the shirt from somebody else. It's about, there's a thing at the background here which is a little bit tedious. I used to work in the rag trade, so I just get it out there. The way Tottenham have their deal set up with Nike is that they don't pay for the shirts up front and then sell them like a conventional retailer. They get supplied with product. There's a front-loaded deal, and this is why you will see at the end of a season that you'll walk into Mr. Smith's sports shop and the Spurs shirts will be heavily reduced. That's because they own the shirts and they want to get rid of them. They can't back them. Tottenham are on a totally separate deal and they will be judged after the event. And what we're looking for is for Nike to be concerned that they're tied up to a very expensive deal, a big commitment which they pay Tottenham to supply their shirts, but Tottenham aren't pulling their weight and they're not selling enough. And that is a situation where we could put a squeeze on them. So if you need to buy a shirt, go and buy a shirt, but just buy it from somebody else. And I'm not telling you to do this, but I'm just saying that, you know, if you were pushed for money, and I'm pushed for money now and again, we all are, I can tell you the difference between a £70 replica shirt made of recycled polyester and the difference between a £10 made in Hong Kong or wherever shirt made of recycled recycled polyester. Do you know what the difference is between those two products? 60 quid. So there are choices out there. You know, this isn't like buying a knockoff Armani suit where, you know, the buttons are going to fall off by the time you even make it to the railway station. So it's polyester. Just dwell on that. I mean, the other thing as well is motivation. How revved up are you to buy Spurs merchandise at the moment? Are you looking to walk into the pub with Eric Dyer across your shoulder blades? So that's the other thing. Right, going to games. I would like to put pressure on ENIC by seeing plenty of empty seats. However, there's a massive caveat to that. Going to games is your choice, and we've all had murders with this whole COVID business. I don't want to disappear down the rabbit hole about, going into the COVID thing, but being banged up under house arrest for a year or more isn't funny. And after being locked up effectively with the only option in your life, and some of you didn't even have that, of going to a bloody supermarket, I'm not going to tell you that you should immediately cross out a whole load of social events in N17. If you want to go, go. Your mental health is far more important than anything I have to share with you. But I think that if you do go, it doesn't make you a bad person at all, but if you do go, I think there'll be enough empty seats anyway from those that are slightly in two minds about using public transport, being packed into a tube or a bus, or even, getting in and out of the stadium. The social distancing is not going to happen. So if you do go, I think that there will be others with genuine sort of health concerns who will make up for your inability to protest in that fashion. And yet the last word on this is please, please, please don't give the trust any more money. The object to the exercise is a power grab, and I've been mocked for using the word Marxist, but that is what Marxists do. So you can chuckle and chortle all you like, but that is how Marxists behave. We live in a Western democracy. You cannot just knock on the door of a private business and say, "Oi, we want a seat on the board." Brother, it doesn't work like that. So they'll get somebody on the board, and the content of what the board discusses will be so limited anyway, the whole thing will be futile, even if they did have the ability to vote. They won't have the ability to vote, and so if they do go, well, on behalf of my members, what I represent, you'll get overvoted anyway, outvoted, whatever the correct terminology is. So if you're having trouble buying a ticket, if you're having trouble with anything to do with the club, email them. Donna Cullen is sat there next to a phone that isn't ringing, sat there with an empty inbox on her email. You don't need to give these people a £10 note. Give it to an animal rescue. Blue Cross, they do great work. There we go, almost got aerated, almost. So, those are your instructions. The revolution does not require you to steal one of your mother's bed sheets. And Fonseca, I think I'm just going to have to call him Fonzie or something, is on his way. There you go. Good luck. Keep it Tottenham.